Welcome to the Family Law Section's Faces of Family Law. Today we have Jack Mooring with us. He is a longtime member of the Family Law Section and on the Executive Council, and he is this year's recipient of the Honorable Raymond T. McNeil Professionalism Award. Welcome, Jack.
Thank you, Julie.
Thanks for being here today. So tell us a little bit about your firm, where you're located, and your practice area.
I am in a two-person law firm. The name is Mooring and Mooring, PA. The other attorney in the firm is my wife, Patricia. We're located in Crystal River, which is in Citrus County, which is in the 5th Judicial Circuit. We're about an hour and a half north of Tampa. I practice exclusively marital and family law, as does my wife, although she dabbles in a probate and a few other things. I hardly ever dabble.
So what are you focusing on this year during your term on the Executive Council and how it relates to Florida's families?
Well, my primary involvement in this section, not necessarily in the council, is I am finishing the second year of co-chairing the Legislation Committee, which is the committee that's taking up an inordinate amount of my time this year. And I'm thankful for the work of all of the members of the leadership team on legislation, my co-chair, Sheena Benjamin Wise, my co-vice chairs, Michelle Klinger-Smith and Ruben Dupé, and our secretaries, Belinda Lazara and Beth Luna. There are two alimony bills, time-sharing bills that are on the floor for consideration in both chambers of the legislature, and they're both horrible bills, and the section is working very diligently to try and get those bills defeated. So that's basically all I'm dealing with right now, 24/7 until probably the end of April, hopefully, which is the end of session, and God forbid it passes, then it'll be thereafter in front of trying to get a veto by Governor DeSantis, like we were successful in doing 2 times with Governor Scott.
So how many committees have you been involved in the past? I'm sure many, but how long have you been involved specifically with legislative?
I've been in the Legislation Committee for numerous years. I can't tell you exactly how many. I'm also active in Rules and Forms Committee. I previously served on the what we euphemistically call Big Bar Rules, which is the Family Law Rules Committee, for many years. I'm active in the Equitable Distribution Committee, support issues, children's issues. Although frankly, I've not been able to work as hard in those committees this year because of my working in legislation. That's taken pretty much all of my time this year.
Since you've been involved in the section and the various committees for so many years, what advice would you give someone who's considering serving on a committee?
I think the easiest thing someone can do right now is just come to some meetings. Right now, they're via Zoom from time to time. Practically all of the committees are open to anyone who wants to participate in them. There are a few exceptions to that, but most of the substantive law committees are available to anyone who wants to show an interest in them. We have meetings that coincide with live meetings. For instance, our next meeting is hopefully going to be in conjunction with the Florida Bar Convention in June, and right now, the plan is that it's going to be a live meeting. We generally have meetings of all of our committees one day during that convention. It's usually on a Wednesday. We have a luncheon that day where we bring in the new leadership and we recognize the members of the section who have done above and beyond for the past year. Our section chair changes, so it's a pretty nice luncheon. That's a ticketed event, so you have to pay for it. But the meetings are free. So if you have an interest in a particular area of the law, just show up at one of the meetings. Sign up. You'll be added to an email distribution list. And then in between our live meetings, we have telephonic meetings or meetings over Zoom on particular issues. A substantive committee like Equitable Distribution will have any various number of subcommittees working on particular issues from time to time, and you can volunteer to be on a subcommittee and participate and be involved in what I call the cutting edge of family law in Florida. Because some of what's being proposed are statutory changes that will eventually make their way to the legislature and hopefully one day become passed and become law. Or alternatively, there might be rules changes that the section is supporting and are behind and might petition the Supreme Court for approval of new rules or modifications to existing rules. So the best part is just showing up. That's the easiest part. You're going to learn that there's a lot of really smart people who are members of the section. And the main reason I learned, I'd been going to CERT Review, which is the Family Law Review course, we call it now. I've been going that for every year for years. And one day I think I don't remember if I was invited or asked or if I just showed up, but I just came a day early and went to the meetings and found that I kind of liked it. And I started slowly becoming more and more involved. And as you become more and more involved, just like any organization, if you show even a modicum of interest and or talent, you'll get asked to do things. And as you get asked to do things, if like me, you have a very low tolerance to say no, you'll find yourself becoming more and more involved, which is kind of basically my history in the section. I don't know how to say no.
Well, that's a good thing. And we appreciate your expertise and your volunteerism for this section for so many years.
But believe me, I've gotten more out of it than I've put into it. Like I said, I'm around people who live, breathe, eat, and sleep family law. And sometimes they're really, really, really knowledgeable. And sometimes being close to them, some of that knowledge rubs off onto me. And I get to bring it back to my local community and sometimes get to use it in a hearing or use it in a deposition or use it in a mediation or negotiation. And sometimes it helps. And that's, to me, is in a nutshell, the benefit of being a member of the section.
Makes you a better lawyer, right? A more informed,
Indeed.
more engaged lawyer.
I think it has done, yes.
Absolutely. Finally, we won't take up much more of your time, but tell us one thing, perhaps, that most people don't know about you.
You know, I really hate questions like this, and I'm embarrassed to say that when I saw this question in the advance email, I actually Googled that question to find out some examples of what I should say. And I won't go with some of the examples, one of which was, to quote from a Johnny Cash lyric, I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die.
No, don't say that.
That doesn't apply to me. You know, about 20 plus years ago, I was the local movie critic for my local newspaper. I guess that's about it. I did that for several years.
That is super interesting. So you're a movie buff. I'm sure you still.
Oh yeah,
I'm
still a movie buff. Yes.
So you criticize them from your home rather than in print.
Mostly, I admire them. I mean, I admire a well-made film, and I do find myself longing for the days when we had more black and white films, because I have a special fondness for them.
Do you have any special favorites?
Well, top of the list would probably be The Third Man, which I happened to watch the other night again because it was on Turner Classic Movies, which I've probably alienated about 95% of the audience that would be seeing this. Turner Classic Movies. I mean, we know this guy's old, but we didn't know he was a fuddy-duddy too.
They're in Google right now.
What is Turner Classic Movies?
What is that? I need to watch that.
But yeah, I mean, Orson Welles is a tremendous filmmaker and an actor, and he was just absolutely sublime in the role of Harry Lime in that movie. Joseph Cotten, one of his longtime collaborators, was excellent as well as playing the befuddled novelist who was trying to solve the supposed mystery of Harry Lime's death, which turns out not to have been. I won't say any more for fear of spoiling.
No spoilers. Yeah.
Spoiling a 90-year-old movie.
Well, I'm sure people will be watching that after this. So, well, Jack, that is it. We won't ask you any more in-depth personal questions, I promise. And we really
please don't say anything about what I did in Reno back then.
No, that was Johnny Cash, not you.
Right. Oh, that's right. That's right.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, Jack. And thank you for all you do for the section. It really, really helps. Florida
Okay.
families. So thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.